Are you tired? Are you sleepy? If so, then you're probably going to dream. And you may see some really wild stuff in your dreams. So, what do you do when you get up in the morning and you remember your dreams? So, for me, this is my story on dreams. So, I've always had really, really vivid dreams, like for as long as I could remember. My dreams are really cinematic, they're really vivid. For a few years, I used to have night terrors. So, I used to think they were chicken induced. That's Yeah, I just felt like every time I ate chicken, I would have like a really deep, dark, frightening dream. I'd wake up screaming, I'd wake up crying. It would feel so real. Um, Actually, having kids, I haven't had one of those in a while. I've only had maybe one or two nightmares this year, which is surprising with everything in the world going on. I'm really surprised I haven't had any more bad dreams, but I honestly haven't. So for me, especially going through this spiritual awakening, I have learned that these streams may really be messages from spirit, whether that spirit is, source working through my ancestors, guardian angels, spirit guides, whatever the case may be. They're just divine messages. And if I remember them, I feel like, there's something important I was supposed to get from the dream. So, one thing I have learned is, when do I have the clearest dreams, or what some will call lucid. Hold on, I'm sorry. The glare on my glasses is wild. Okay, there we go. Um, but sometimes they're lucid, like where I'm aware at some point where something happens and I'm like, I'm dreaming. But I typically say, wake up. I don't stay with it. So that's something I want to do better at, is staying with the dream. But there are some points where I have like a full inception moment and I'm like, okay, this is a dream. You can get out of this. Um, I've also had dreams within a dream. So I've had instances where in the dream, I'm aware that in the dream that I'm dreaming, and I wake up, but I'm still within the dream. I just had a dream within a dream. So that's something that I've also experienced. I feel like I may have astral projected once, but I'm too freaked out to, it's honest. I wasn't prepared. So I did not ask my the person in the house whether or not what I saw actually happened. So yeah, it just, they've just always been really profound. So things that I typically jump out at me are, if I remember a number, if I remember colors, if I remember sounds, if I see somebody and their face is super duper clear, like really, really vivid, and it's someone I know, I almost always call that person. Even if that person is representing me in the dream, I still call them to make sure they're okay. So I think the most recent one, this isn't somebody I hang out with, I just know him. I just know him. We went to school together. I just know him, and we're friends on Facebook. So I just inboxed him. I was like, "Yo, are you good? Because you showed up in my dream, and you was like real vivid. I know that sounds real crazy. Please don't judge me, but if I see you in my dream and you're really clear, I gotta make sure you're good." So, based on what he told me, he may have been stressed, but he was good. So he made this maybe the visage that spirit chose to use to get my attention. Um, I've had, actually, this crystal here is moldavite, and it came to me in a dream. I had heard about moldavite before and things like that, but I got this the day after the dream about moldavite. I dreamt about it showing up to me in a store, and I typically have multi-part dreams. So in this dream, I had one scene of events take place, and I had the crystal, and then when the next scene of events took place, I still had the moldavite. And the thing that jumped out the most in the dream that I still remember is, we were captured. There was a military incursion going on. My ex girlfriend was in the dream. I don't know why. She showed up in a few dreams. I don't know which one of my spirit guides likes her face, but they've been using her. Um, but she showed up in the dream, and we're all captured and we're in handcuffs. And something in my head says the Moldavite is magnetic and it can free you. And I'm like, okay, well, I can unlock the handcuffs with the Moldavite. So I literally like put the crystal on the handcuffs and they open. So I free a bunch of us and we run off to freedom. And it was funny, the day I went to go buy the crystal, the lady at the shop, she said that, Moldavite, causes you to have a spiritual awakening, causes you to be freer in thought. And so the fact that I freed people using Moldavite was really probably a profound message that was what the Moldavite was going to help me do. So I bought some. I know that I am empathic where I can feel energy, but I don't always know that if I'm projecting energy up until I got the Moldavite. Um, that same week, I had some stuff going on emotionally. Um, and I went to a shop, and the lady, I know I've gotten a reading from her on the phone, but she's never read me in person. And I always felt like this particular instance, this thing is something that happens in movies, and this doesn't happen in reality. But she stopped and she's like, hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, not great. I was honest. I was like, I'm not great. She's like, I know. And I'm like, oh, am I that loud? And she said, yes. And she literally shrunk back from me. So I was like, okay, maybe the Moldavite's it's doing something. So I don't think I would have bought it if it hadn't been for the dream, because Moldavite is not at all cheap. And also, from what I heard, you have to be ready for it. And I remember when I first got crystals, I they put me on my butt. Like they tried, I couldn't stand, and I couldn't be in the room with them for the longest because it was just too much energy. I couldn't process it all. I'm much better with that now. When I clean them and things like that. But I just knew that if I was supposed to have the Moldavite, I would not have that reaction. If I wasn't supposed to have it, I would pick it up in the store and I'd probably faint. And I didn't. So that's me in the Moldavite. And sometimes I sleep in it. Sometimes I sleep with it close to me. Just to see. Actually, the few nights I have slept with it on, I've dreamt about aliens. And I mean, like, genuine, like, pew, aliens. So, yeah, that was interesting. Um, Things that I've done to help myself with dreams, and you have to find what works for you. Pay attention to what you've done, what you're doing, diet, things like and what your dreams are like, and then that'll help you know what helps you have clearer dreams. So for me, water has been a catalyst for me to have clearer dreams. I sleep with either rain or ocean sounds playing, and I can tell ocean sounds are really the stronger one. If I sleep and I can hear the ocean, my dreams are normally really, really, really vivid. And my mentor was holding an ancestor class, and one of the things she said was sleep with water by your bed. So I decided, okay, I'll do that. So I know some people do petitions, but I just remembered hearing that water retains memory. So I talked to the water and set intention. I told the water what I was putting it there for, what I hope to gain from having it there, and went with that. I'm trying to get into crystal grids, but I don't know them well enough, but I do fix some crystals around the water. And like right now there's clear quartz actually in the water, but a lot of times I like to do rose quartz or amethyst actually in the water. And I keep some black stone for protection so I don't have nightmares, things like that. And I just, whatever I feel called to put around the water, that's what I do. In the morning, especially if I felt like the dream was really, really vivid, I may take some of the water out of the jar and rub my third eye, rub some in my hair or my crown chakra, and see what happens. I like to use moon water to do it. So when I first started doing it, I was using full moon water. We got a new moon coming up, so I'm probably going to make some new moon water and see if there's any difference in the dream quality, or if it's about the same, or if I have a different messages coming from the dream, whatever the case may be. In terms of how I interpret my dreams, so my mentor gave me really good advice. She said there's a lot of information about the different signs and symbols, but ultimately you have to use your intuition. So though I can look up, the sign, I can look up the symbol, I can look up those kind of things. What I really do is look at everything holistically, because sometimes you have to put the pieces together, what's going on in my life, and kind of work from there. So I look at the colors. Sometimes I look at the people, and then I do have like a dream tarot spread that I like to use to kind of help me. Like if there's an overarching message that I'm supposed to have received, then I'll use that. Recently, one of the dreams I had, I felt like it was about the fires in California. I don't know why, because I don't watch the news, so I hadn't been watching anything, but I just was dreaming about a lot of different things. Like one of the ladies on a YouTube channel I saw was in the dream. So part of it was really dark. And typically I would have pulled myself out of the dream because some really odd stuff, like she was using a child and had snatched out her eyes and the child was spying for her. It was like really, really dark. But at some point there was like smoke coming from one side and smoke coming from the other side. And for some reason I just felt the urge to rescue people and get them inside. Like you have to go inside. If you stay out here, you're going to pass out. And when I woke up, I was like, this part felt like it might have been about the fires, like, pollution in the air and all this good stuff. So I pulled cards, and every card I pulled for my dream tarot spread had smoke of some kind in the spread. And I was like, whoa. So I just reached out. Like my sister lives over on the West Coast. She lives in Seattle, near Seattle. And I was like, okay, are y'all good? Y'all okay? Because I heard the sky over there was orange. And, she said the sky was normal that particular day, but they had like air purifiers and things like that. And they had a bag packed and ready to go if they needed to, like, get out the door. So I was like, okay, cool. I reached out to my cousin that actually lives in California, and I kind of looked at some things. And actually calling my sister, I learned that I knew the smoke had gotten to Japan, but she said that they were predicting it would hit New York and come down south if it didn't clear up. So I was like, okay, I need to also make sure that I have an air purifier. So sometimes I don't know if that dream was for me to reach out to folks, or for me because I didn't have awareness of what was happening in the world, to get that awareness so that I could be prepared in case something was going on. So things like that. I would say write down. I don't get up if it's a dream that I'm trying to remember. I try to take notes in bed. So sometimes I'm sleeping with a journal. If you were to look at my cell phone notepad, I have pages and pages and pages of dreams, because that's closest to me and it's really quick to just like, and I'm like, I have to go quiet. Like I can't do anything else. I'm just like, and I'm like, notes, whatever I can remember, because I feel like if I don't remember, it wasn't important. And I keep going, and sometimes it'll feel like something else comes up, and I'll write that or type that up too. And then I'll go and sit with it and see, what do I feel like it's trying to tell me? And I take it from there. Sometimes my dreams are just dreams. They're just, some weird little thing that happens. But a lot of times, sometimes my dreams are just, my ancestors or my guardian angels trying to talk to me. As I know, I've had dreams where I'm confident, Maya has come to me. I've had dreams where I'm confident Shango has appeared in my dream. Like I had a dream where I'm confident a gang of my ancestors. Like it was bleachers, and it like at least 10 of them there, and they're having a conversation, and like, who has white DNA. Like I was, in that particular night, I said I wanted a message from my ancestors. So I feel like that's what I got. So, sometimes you just want to dream, and you can set that into like, you know what, tonight, if I can get just a regular dream. I don't know what a regular dream is like, but a regular dream, I don't necessarily need a message. I just want to like sleep and enjoy it, and just sleep and enjoy your dreams. But if you're trying to figure out if somebody's talking to you, those are just some things that I've done to help me out. I would love to hear what you've done, what kind of techniques you're using, because I'm always open to learn and try new things. So by all means, drop some in the comments down below. You can drop some on directly on my Patreon page for my Patreon members, and I would love to hear some techniques. Let me know how you like this video. Make sure you like it, so I know that to do other videos like this. And otherwise, I hope you have a great day.